We are back once again for episode 104. I'm trying to be overly excited because that's what YouTubers are supposed to do.
Yeah. What's up, you guys?
What's up, you
Woohoo!
guys? I'm about to give millions of children free water. I'm doing a Mr. Beast reference. It's irrelevant.
Yeah. I'm going to get some really great veneers, and they won't be obvious.
I am always excited when we get to have the podcast, but we have to interesting conversations, stuff that's going on, and the news never ends. Forever.
Never. It's always something happening.
There's always something happening with me, Jason.
What's always
Ross,
funny about that is
Silverado.
there's that reference like 1967 or whatever. Nothing happened here. It's like since then, it's like there's never been a day without news kind of thing.
I think it was like 50 years earlier than that.
It might have been. I don't remember.
Regardless,
The exact day.
we have a lot of stuff to go through. We have now wandered into the mysterious, grungy black market of the city that is yet to be named. We don't know where
It
we're
could be on
at.
a planet far from Earth kind of thing because we were in a spaceship.
That's true. I mean, we could have just been going for a trip around the sun. We could have come back. I don't know.
My head lore is still developing the world that we'll live in. And slowly we'll do so. Yeah, so a lot of stuff is going on this week. And if you're joining us, we have a lot of stuff to talk to. This specific news is, believe it or not, yesterday.
No.
We got a reference. What am I saying? We got a reveal of a 7-second video of a logo reveal for the next Xbox called Project Helix at the moment.
Oh.
When you're like, what's Project Helix? And I'm like, I don't know.
What the hell are you asking me for?
We know so
I know.
little about what Project Helix is, but we should actually. What it does is it opens up a giant discussion on sort of where Xbox is going and what is this going to mean for the future and the situation the PlayStation finds themselves in. Because PlayStation, believe it or not, also has big new news, and we're going to talk about some aspects of gaming and the PlayStation, the current winner of this generation, that nobody is talking about. You might find one or two people referencing it, but there's some data to go over. And so you might ask yourself, what on earth is Project Helix? What is this, just a vague reference to, hey, next generation Xbox is coming? Well, why don't we delve in a little bit? The Xbox Series console's lifespan has been Microsoft's gaming ambition shot into the stratosphere by the $67.9 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard. At the same time, the Series X and Series S consoles, despite being arguably Xbox's best hardware to date, I would agree, has sold
You would hope
poorly,
so.
falling behind even their unpopular predecessor Xbox One, never mind PlayStation 5, and all-conquering Nintendo Switch. Jason, what I mean by best console is best console of the generation. Clearly, every new one should be more improved.
You would hope so.
The point being is, it's just like the 360 had great games, but it was busted out the gate and had problems.
That's true. I mean, the Red Ring of Death and everything was definitely a black eye for the console.
The Xbox One come out with the Kinect and all of the bad reputation problems, and they kind of had rejiggered the direction they were going with.
That disastrous E3, yeah.
And the original Xbox, though good out the gate, was a giant monstrosity. It wasn't perfect. it had really weird problems with shock damage and all that sort of thing. So, in my opinion, it is the better console as far as hardware is concerned compared to the other contemporaries of this gen. It's not the best library and not the winner of this generation.
No, yeah.
Regardless,
Third, sadly.
right.
On the topic of the library, real quick, do you know if Xbox tried to do exclusives, or did they just rely on like their own publishers that they bought to supply them with exclusives?
No, they had exclusives that just were bad.
Yeah. Halo Infinite. Let's see. I mean, they have the Forza games, but that's a whatever. I mean, those are always a gimme for every, a racing game on the new console is always a gimme. Gears of War. Who cares? The problem is that exclusives for both Sony, well, we'll get to that, and Microsoft are fuzzy now. Back in the day, exclusive meant exclusive, only on
It
that
never went to
console.
another console.
And over the last 10 years or so, that also means PC as well, just not other consoles. So,
No.
Regardless, we're shifting forward.
Yes.
We do have a comment from CBH4God76. That's a baller of a screen name, bro. Red Ring took me to PS4. Network Hack Summer took me back to Xbox. That's fair, bro.
Yeah, Sony's had
very
that
fair.
problem.
The
Hopefully
big
not for a
Sony
while.
hack. You know what I got for the big Sony hack? Infamous. That was my free game.
Ooh.
I got to choose between a few, and I got Infamous, which I enjoyed, which was my consolation to, I suppose, some hacker in India has my personal information.
Some Kenyan hacker is using my credit card for something.
That makes it all better.
Some Nigerian prince.
The salve that is the game Infamous on my wounded credit score.
What a nice band-aid.
When you're out on the street playing your Xbox, you will console yourself, or your PlayStation, you will console yourself with Infamous.
Well, that's what we got to do. So, what's going on with the new Project Helix? We know very little, but we're going to have a extensive speculative conversation about what this really means. Because PlayStation, or Microsoft today, has been going through a lot of changes.
Yeah.
A lot of growing pains, if you will, for an already aged brand. However, let's read on a bit. Microsoft has formally announced this next-gen Xbox console. Everybody get hyped. And they gave it a name, or at least the code name, Project Helix. Microsoft's new gaming CEO, Ashish Sharma, confirmed that the new console will play Xbox and PC games. Something that has been widely reported and strongly hinted by Microsoft itself, but not stated outright. Sharma also said Project Helix will lead in performance, which is consistent with Microsoft's earlier characterization of the next Xbox as a very premium, very high-end device, as well as reports that it will outperform the next PlayStation, albeit at a higher price. Although there was scant new information in the announcement by formalizing the code name, Sharma is quickly moving forward to reassure fans and underline Microsoft's commitment to new Xbox hardware. She said she would discuss the console with partners at the Game Developers Conference, which is in a week or two, where there will also be a presentation titled Building for the Future of Xbox. Okay, so what does this mean, really? The speculation that we were going to get something like a hybrid box, like a PC Xbox, is sort of the sign. A lot of gamers, what we have in the gaming community is a strange bifurcation. We have PC gamers, we have console gamers. And despite the elite PC gamers and their status as being so much better than everybody, there's a reason for the two. And it's not just something you can place in your family room. It is ease of use. PC gamers want to be able to sit down and modify things and do all the things they want to, and the complications in adapting different games from different eras, getting them to work properly. There is a plug-and-play aspect to console gaming that cannot be understated that people appreciate. And trying to create a bridge, if you will, between the two groups can be an attractive offering. That's what we thought, to some degree, the Steam box was going to be. But the problem is the Steam box isn't going to be affordable or competitive in the family room. And so when it comes to Xbox, what we're seeing is that speculation of the crossing between the two. Here's the problem. If you're going to make something compatible where you can play, let's say, your Steam library and your GOG library and I don't know, Epic Games library and what have you,
Mm.
as well as Xbox games. Hopefully, theoretically, still has a game disk drive and is very backwards compatible. And able to do that, the biggest variation when it comes to adapting is going to be on the PC end, which means it's going to have to lean more on being able to be a capable PC piece of hardware rather than simply a piece of Xbox hardware. And because of that, it's going to be very difficult to create something that is plug and play as your normal Xbox console is going to be.
Well, you don't really want your console to be plug and play. That kind of defeats the purpose of the console.
What do you mean?
So with consoles, you're trying to make it so it's just an out of the box. You take it home, you stick it somewhere, and it's good to go. You don't have to do anything to it. You're kind of catering to that lowest common denominator, and I hate to say it in those terms, but you're trying to make it so that it's an easy situation where it's a setup and go,
right?
As opposed to the PC where it's much more of the modders free for all, if you will.
Okay, well, you said you don't want your console to be plug and play, so I think you just used the wrong word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You meant PC. That's why I was like, what?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, yeah, I meant that you don't want it. No, you don't want the console. Sorry, you don't want the console to be too modder friendly. Is what I meant to say.
Well, and the hope is, let's say you have your Steam library on this thing, and you go and you want to play something you pre-own on your Steam library. Let's say you bring a Borderlands or something. What the console is going to have to do, the next Xbox console or Project Helix, would need to do to make it as user-friendly and bridge the gap between the two gaming groups is it immediately adapts settings and work functions fairly easily and perfectly. You don't have to go into like directories to fix things. You don't have to do a bunch of other things. And that problem becomes sevenfold when you're talking about games that haven't been patched in a long time or built for different version of Windows or different older parts. You have to remember with PCs, you have to, when you make a game, you have to account for the fact it has to be able to function with a lot of different operating systems, different processors, different video cards that have different languages that function in different ways. The reason why consoles work so much better, and this is something we've seen over years and years, is they build it specifically for that hardware, so they're able to maximize the capabilities of what you're able to do on that bloomin' hardware. So when we see, much to everybody's shock, The Last of Us come out of the PS3 era, and it looks amazing. It's because they're able to maximize what they can do with that. PlayStation, the PC has to do everything to everybody at all of the time. And it's going to be very hard to be as easy and plug and play with a new Xbox console because there's a lot of variability and there's going to be a lot of issues, and they're going to have to build the architecture leaning into the PC category as opposed to simply a console, a piece of hardware. And so now the question becomes, well, what are we really looking at here? Are we really looking at what would be essentially a PC that has emulating capability that leans into the Xbox architecture sort of thing? Is it more going to be a PC? I mean, how much adaptability do we have? And is it going to be functioning like the Windows 11 architecture? Because Windows 11 has not been super great recently. There's been a lot of issues with the software, with security problems, and so on and so on and so forth. So now we're opening up that can of worms, pushing it into this new piece of hardware. I don't. You start to think about it, you're like, I don't know how good an idea this is, you guys.
Yeah, and there's always the. So, I mean, because we're already starting to kind of get mods for games on consoles, games like Fallout 4, stuff like that. It's kind of a thing, but the big overhaul mods you can't do. They're too big. Because then the question comes in, well, which one's getting limited? Like, are you going to limit people to be able to mod their games on PC? Because that's a huge downside for anyone that wants to play their PC games on this thing. Because even like I said, not even in a cheating way, but just like there's this cool overhaul mod I want to try, or there's this mod that, frankly, fixes the game so I can complete it. It's a big thing for them, and I mean, you're right, because the big draw for me over the years, why I kept coming back to console gaming, even though I've done a little bit of PC gaming, is the ease of use. I mean, it's
Yeah.
huge, and I mean, even recently, I can't remember what game it was. There was a newer game the last few years that if you had a certain combination of hardware, it was just unplayable. It would not work well. It took a couple of patches for the developers to get it fixed.
Borderlands 4 was busted with a lot of pieces of hardware.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's I mean, they're saying it's going to be high end and premium, which I'm sure we'll get into, but like is it going to be so high end and premium that you're not sacrificing for either? Because is that possible? What, are you just going to have like partitions on this thing? I don't know.
Well, it gets to the point where high end and premium isn't worth it anymore. And if you're just going to be able to play your games on PC anyway, why wouldn't you just get a PC? I mean,
Well,
maybe
depending
a few
on cost,
$100 more, but
because the rumor is this is going to be premium, and we're talking $1,000 to $1,500.
Oh my
Now,
god!
I understand the argument of, well, why not just get a PC? But that's essentially what this is, just focused on gaming.
right. And
Right.
that's one of the arguments that or maybe not arguments really, but one of the things that we've talked about on this podcast numerous times is when these consoles start getting powerful enough to rival a PC, isn't it just a PC? And have we then moved out of the era of consoles, and just why would we get a console when we can just get the equivalent experience on a PC?
We do have another comment. Xbox and Microsoft Windows never really worked separately like Nike and Jordan. Do you mean that essentially Windows software was running in the background on Xbox consoles? Or the integration that they had with, like, was it the Windows gaming and then eventually the Microsoft app on Windows PCs?
Yeah.
As far as the software running in the background on the console, it's my understanding it was heavily modified.
Well, it still might have been like Windows Lite or something like that.
That's not something I have a deep amount of information. It definitely changed as the consoles became more updated, that it leaned more on the Windows side. You're not wrong that they're not separate. My contention is Windows 11, the current gen, is not great.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, that's a whole other
The
thing.
integration with things like Copilot and creating backdoor problems and security issues, and and we haven't gone into super detail on any of the Windows 11 problems recently anyway. But there's a myriad of issues, and if you're not happy with Windows, and you've had a weird amount of people exiting to Linux and stuff because of the current Windows issues.
Yeah.
It's not like you can run away on an Xbox console from Windows.
It will be there always.
It's gonna be a part of your life, bro.
Listening.
Being a part, yeah, taking notes.
You know that somebody will mod Linux so it'll run on on the Xbox
Oh, I'm sure.
hardware.
There's
Somebody
always that
will
kind
do
of lunatic over there. So.
Well, there's a GUI system. I look, you can modify it, but suddenly it's not going to run proprietary Microsoft stuff,
Right,
and DRM
right.
is going to conflict in everything, and it's going to cause a myriad of problems. My guess is it wouldn't function cleanly at all, and would simply remove you from being able to use it as a console in the first place. I don't know. Setting aside technical issues and the Herculean task of trying to set this up so that it works functionally with a huge amount of games theoretically accessible through your other libraries. And especially since the justification for a console are your exclusives, and Microsoft has been giving away its exclusives like at the county fair, like they mean nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So if Xbox is going to survive as a brand, then they seem to want to be the hybrid console that Steam seemed to kind of try and be. But the justification for going Xbox is its library, and if its library isn't as exclusive as everybody seems to think it is, then I mean, look.
It could be that Microsoft is scared by the announcement of the Steam machine and thinking, well, we need to get ahead of that.
I guarantee you this thing has been in the works for like 8 years or something absurd.
Right, but they didn't announce it.
Well, they announced it after the new CEO.
Right.
I don't think
And
it was in reaction to Steam.
Yeah. And we did have that article, what was it, last week before, where that Xbox dev was saying Xbox is dead, basically. So this could be in response to that as well, saying, no, we're not dead, really.
Well, he walked those comments back.
Really?
Did he really?
Yes. Well, he goes, well, I don't think Xbox is going away. I'm just saying.
I bet you he got a friendly phone call from
Well,
someone.
a lawyer reached out to
He
him.
probably sells Microsoft stock or Xbox stock to some degree. And it's like,
Mhm.
I don't know about that, bro. You're still under some sort of eternal NDA having worked with Xbox.
Bill Gates will not let you leave, sir. Ever.
Well, and we got another comment before I go forward. OG Xbox games only on Xbox was because they're a majority PC games. Halo, NFL, Fever, Elder Scrolls. PC was not friendly. But now kids carry laptops in elementary school to high school. PC is a lot more accessible to a lot more people.
Yeah, it is.
You're not wrong. I
Yeah.
think the plug and play is the issue, and the exclusivity is why you go console. PC has been a lot more accessible. Now you might go, well, it's not that hard to get stuff to work. To me, the plug and play is not that bad on PC. To your average kid, maybe someone who's not super, who doesn't want to sit there and download their own Windows and modify their own console, it can seem a daunting task to some degree.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. Well,
Yeah.
it's not that easy. Whatever. I think is a little bit daunting to some people. And it's just easy to, hey, my 12-year-old, I could just put a console down. And if you're worried about their ability to access, let's say, inappropriate things or monitoring what they do on the internet, most people don't worry about them using the Xbox to browse the pornography.
Only the finest way to search my pornography.
Well, I said pornography. I'm talking sexy crustaceans at the bottom of the ocean. Ross.
Oh, well, you would.
Love them starfish.
Use the Explorer app on Xbox. The finest way to
that
search
really
the web.
awkward where you have to use the analog joystick to move it around the screen.
It's just a nightmare.
So
I think current
yeah.
consoles are plug and play with things like mouse and keyboard,
Yeah.
I think they are.
Yeah, pretty easily. Yeah.
especially when
game
it
will
comes to
accept
some
it or not.
MMAs like Final Fantasy
Well,
and stuff.
A
Yeah.
lot of the peripherals for
MMOs.
Xbox now are plug and play with your PC, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the integration has been happening regardless.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to understand abstractly why consoles are attractive. I like consoles, but then again, I've been here for many generations of consoles, and there's a degree of bias on my end. I own most consoles, except for obscure ones. So I'm
Brett's extensive Neo Geo collection, perhaps? Like he's a drug dealer from 1995?
got to
We
go down
went
that
to-
PC Engine route.
Rhett and I went to Japan, and he bought a console there. He bought a Famicom?
I bought the Famicom Mini and the Super Famicom Mini.
Nice.
Our commenter says, "LOL, numbers say you would get a PlayStation for the corn." Yeah. Regardless, I like the hardware. I collect to some degree. There's nostalgia in the eras. I tend not to throw things away. But if the future just looks like, well, Xbox PC hybrid, then it's like, well, I have a PC. Why would I really need, if there's not exclusives that attract me, why would I really need to convert
Right.
to the new? Do you see my point?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. One of the things about so I've been an Xbox guy since the first Xbox. And I thought about switching over. I forget which PlayStation it was, 2, 3, I forget. But then Xbox was like, "Oh no, we're going to be backwards compatible." And I'm like, "Okay, well that'll mean I can still play my the games I already have." But the fact that you can just plunk it down, it's really, really easy to just turn on and play. You don't have to worry about finding drives and making sure that all the little tweaks are optimized. I mean, I have some games that on PC, the first time I played them on PC, they didn't work 100% correctly, and I didn't realize it until I tried to play it later on a better PC, and suddenly there were these cutscenes that I didn't remember from the first time I played through the game. I'm like, wait a minute, where did this come from? And so the fact that you know the hardware and it's never going to change. It's basically going to be the same hardware, and like you said, the game comes optimized for that platform. It just makes it so much easier. You don't have to, and if you have little kids, you can throw them down in front of the game and turn it on, and you don't have to bother about, okay, well, I gotta keep monitoring them because they could close this game and get on something they're not supposed to, um, or you know, if I'm working on my PC, they want to play a game, well, I can just say, well, the Xbox is over there, or vice versa. If I have kids that are old enough that they're doing homework, maybe they're using the PC, and I'm like, oh, I can play a game. It's really easy. It's that ease of use that makes it so attractive.
Right, and I think I think we've addressed how valuable the console is in that regard. I would like to actually discuss sort of what this means overall for the hardware. I don't know. Look, if I were to try and plan Xbox's future, and I talked with this about Ross earlier.
Hmm.
I don't know if a hybrid console is really direction to go because you're just diluting your brand. Like, what does the future of Xbox end up being? Just brand software, your subscription service to access their library?
Yeah. Like, are they
Yeah.
just going to be the maker of a somewhat affordable PC-ish thing, and then also Game Pass? They're
Right.
Game Pass, and also we make some odd hardware here and there, but it's an Xbox, whatever. It's a PC. It's whatever. It's all the same thing. Game
But
Pass works on PC.
but if it's Xbox everywhere, which is the plan, and then that
Mhm.
access gets pushed onto PCs,
Yeah.
then why do I have to buy the hardware if I can do it on the PC as well?
Yeah.
Then it's just a subscription service.
And if that's the way they're going to a subscription service, I'm done. I'm out.
Oh, and they are. I mean, at least to me, it seems like it. I mean, they can change their mind anytime they want. They're a big
Sure.
company. They can do it fast if they want to. Um, but because that does bring up a good question. So they have made it to where they don't really have exclusives anymore. Because I mean, now they're even announcing things going on to PlayStation, such as the Halo remake and Gears of War remaster remake. So, but on top of that, I mean, it's been a PC thing for a long time, especially with Game Pass. So it does bring up the question, Rhett, that I think it's a good question. Why bother with the Xbox hardware? Why don't I just build a
Yeah.
PC
Well,
and I can still access your crap, whatever?
what if I already have a PC?
Yeah, what if you already got one? Well, I'm done then. I got it. You told me this is an Xbox.
Well, then why would I get your hardware?
Yeah.
Mhm.
because I like your brand and I have brand loyalty to a billion-dollar company. Those plucky
As
little
we've said
Microsoft
multiple
boys.
times,
Yeah,
they need to get our earn our loyalty every single time they do anything.
no, no, come on. Microsoft, they're just a small mom and pop operation. You know.
No, by the way, I think I brushed over the comment. I'm very aware what people do with their PlayStation consoles. My point being, it's not as easy. A lot of people have smartphones now anyway. Using your PlayStation for that sort of thing is really weird. You know what I mean?
That sounds like a very strange, specific, like 11 or 12-year-old doing that situation.
Like, I don't have very much access. I'm going to slowly type into the browser or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, one of the nice things about the Xbox and the PlayStation is that if your kids are going to be on it, you can give them an account with restricted access to certain things. So they can only look up like age appropriate content, which is kind of nice. But
it
you
can
can
only
still do
restrict
that.
so far.
True.
If your
And,
kid's smart enough, they get around
there are
things.
ways to get around it. I understand, but you do make it harder.
It's the obstacles, bro.
Yeah.
Regardless, on top of that, I'm not so obsessed with trying to bridge the gap between PC and that, like to reach the hybrid, as a lot of people seem to be. I don't think it's that necessary. You could just you could get a computer and put it next to your television.
Yeah.
It's not that vital. There's a reason why people go to console. Now, if it were me and I was trying to find a way to sell this generation, look, I know every generation by and large with consoles has pushed, a lot of the push has been graphics and hardware. Every new generation has to be the best looking thing ever. And the contrary to that is Nintendo still puts out fun games that don't have to have 4K bloom and anti-aliasing and whatever else has to be attached to it. How many particles can we fit on the screen? That the games are still just fun and good.
What was their last competitive was it the GameCube? Was their last one that was like kind of on par with the other ones?
That didn't go off on that was just console.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, because like since the Wii, it's like it's like a slight upgrade from last generation, but whatever. Like
that it leaned more on gimmick and software.
Yeah, and like there are like it's our exclusives that build this. Like, you're not going to be able to get the best version of some third party thing, but we got Donkey Kong, we got Zelda, and we got Mario. So,
well, since about the release of the Wii, people have been kind of saying, I'm going to get me my Nintendo, and which other console do I want?
I don't know if that's still true. That was true last gen.
But I do know that at least with up till the Switch 1, that people were still kind of going, well, I'm going to get me a Switch. Now, which other console do I want?
We got a new comment that says the smartphone did take out disposable cameras and Walkman. The smartphone took out a lot of things, bro.
Yeah.
The smartphone took out cameras.
Yeah.
And having exclusive, unless you're a professional photographer, having an exclusive camera just for memories is no longer a thing. People just have their phone on them all the time. And then take pictures and video stuff they're never going to look at again anyway.
Just live there on a memory card forever.
Yeah. Yep. Half the space on my phone is just 40 billion pictures of my cat sleeping or whatever. Silver.
Never. No.
She knows.
Of course she does.
And it's really hard to take your PlayStation into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Up until recently, Rhett.
Well, not undo it. Well, PlayStation Portable, that is a thing.
I'm streaming PlayStation right to my toilet.
There should be a better way.
There's got to be a better. Just the horrible image of a guy balancing a plugged-in PlayStation in one hand and a TV in the other.
Just cables running under the door and it
While
doesn't
sitting
shut
on the
fully.
toilet. Yeah, there's got to be a better way.
Well, we got something for you.
Sony, hire us for the next big ad push. All right, we got you.
Guaranteed tens of buyers.
Tens of buyers. By God, it'll be huge.
We're trying to get those bathroom gamers, all 10 of them.
Yep.
Well, and
a strange surge in hemorrhoids.
No.
apply directly to the forehead. What I would do, this seems counterintuitive, is if you have a Steam library and you're going to play it on, and you already have a PC to play games, are you really selling an Xbox to get people to buy more Steam games?
Yeah.
Is it really that necessary to have a hybrid console? I mean, when a lot of stuff is becoming cross-gen anyway. If it were me, it seems like this is a prime opportunity to lean hard into the exclusives and to the Xbox experience. What I would do, as hardware is becoming more expensive, as accessibility is shooting up, like I was saying before, alluding to before we got off track, hardware is always pushed by the need to get better looking stuff. You have to have more graphics. You have to have better resolution, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that's as necessary anymore. Things have kind of leveled out. It's like, well, it's got to be 60 frames per second. And it's like, 30 is still livable. So what if the next generation console is not a massive leap forward? What if they lean hard, especially with tariff drama and the spike in RAM and video cards and whatnot? What if they lean hard into affordability and they make the console just accessible to the entire PlayStation library, and they just make a smaller, more affordable, more accessible console? They even try and aim for competitive at a $400 price tag.
You talking
Or even a
Microsoft?
3, heaven forbid. And it's not even that much better if even on par of the Series X. And that your new architecture is really just affordability, Game Pass, and making games that take full advantage of the hardware, because they're still going to look good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that big a crisis that, well, look at all of the numbers. I mean, look at the PlayStation 5 Pro. It didn't sell as well as everybody expected it would be. And most of the games still take advantage of it. There was a big leap forward from PS4 to PS4 Pro. Like, you could see a qualitative difference. PS5 to PS5 Pro, I can't see a difference. So what if
Yeah.
you just
One of
leaned into exclusive console hardware? Do exactly what people want a console to do. Plug and play. You get fun games on there. Just everything you want to do. Everything is on there. Just go, hey, we own Bethesda. Remaster of all Elder Scrolls. Boom.
You can now play Daggerfall on your console.
I mean, one of the things that you touched on, and that's the diminishing returns of the more powerful hardware. It gets to the point where, to the naked eye, you don't see a difference. And so if you don't really see a difference between the previous generation and the current hardware they're pushing, is there really a difference other than you're trying to now charge me $100 more than you were yesterday?
We got a comment. Maybe PlayStation and Xbox are looking at the Steam machine if specs aren't an issue. Depends on the price. Price is going to matter a lot.
Yeah, it will.
And a lot of word we're getting out is the Steam's probably going to be $1,000. The PS6 probably is going to be out for another year or two because of hardware limitations. And it's probably going to cost a load of money. And we're going to start pricing. We have a lot of PlayStation news. We'll actually counter a lot of people's preconceived notions on what's actually happening in the console generation. But to round out our Xbox conversation, It's like, is it really that necessary then for this to be a hybrid? What if you make it affordable? What if you bring as many games in as possible? Now it's got to have exclusives.
Yeah, I was going to say that's because you and I were talking earlier, and there's an opportunity here, kind of industry wide, that I don't know if anybody will take, but that because of rising prices of RAM, and we were just getting video cards back to normal, well, ish, and then the RAM went crazy. If Microsoft decides to go like, you know what, we're going to go super affordable, which obviously they've told us now, kind of really not doing that, but let's say they had, you know, maybe developers will actually start to, streamline their games to the point where they can play on more things. They don't have to be so greedy and resource heavy. That would probably require them not to use Unreal Engine 5, which is the band-aid of the gaming industry. But uh, that would be really nice to have like games that are actually made with quality and not just slapped together and big bloated pieces of crap. Because good lord, it's just absolutely gotten ridiculous. And I think you're right. I mean, the exclusives thing would be huge, and they earlier this generation they were in a position to do that. To have like, hey, look, we're going more affordable, and you know what? We got exclusives. We got games you want to play. How about Elder Scrolls, whatever? How about the other Bethesda games? Oh no, Starfield. But like the problem is that everything that those, whether it's Activision Blizzard, whether it's Bethesda, or ones they've already owned, like 343 Studios, I guess Halo Studios now, they all suck, or at least are disappointing. They're not quite up to snuff, and they've kind of burnt that bridge. They've played that card and it didn't work. So unfortunately, because I like that idea, like Xbox going affordable would be amazing. I think that'd be really fun, kind of taking more of the Nintendo track, but
Yeah. Yeah.
because the problem is now with the exclusive thing is like you mentioned earlier, Ed. Why would I go with a combo machine when just the PC can do everything that does?
You have
I
to
think you really hit the nail on the head with
you have to justify your console. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
I was going to say you really hit that nail on the head with they should focus on the Xbox experience. The thing is if they make a console that's too close to a PC, like Ross was saying, wouldn't I just go with the PC? I've already got one. It'll do all the stuff that I want. It's already more it has the potential to already be more powerful than what we would get from the Xbox anyway. And you really need to have that, like you said, exclusives. You need to focus on the Xbox experience. What do you bring to the table that I'm not going to get on my PC or on this other console? And if you can really nail that down and really, really make that something that people crave, that's going to drive them to your console. But so far, all I'm hearing here is you don't actually want me on your console. Um, I should just abandon you here and now and move over to PC and join the PC master race, as they say.
Well, how about this bit of news that might encourage you to stick around on Xbox and how great it is as an exclusive? Did you know that Xbox could be featuring integrated AI and human helpers to take control over challenging segments in your game?
Ew, the journalist mode. Gross.
Is this the AI version of letting your big brother do the difficult part for you?
Just a lot more sad.
Help.
As spotted by Tech4 Gamers, the State Management for Video Game Help Sessions patent describes a process where control of a game is temporarily transferred from the player to a helper. This would allow pre-approved human player or trained AI model to guide the player through a frustrating segment, such as difficult boss fight or complex puzzle, before handing control back once the segment has been completed. allowing players to receive help without having to leave the game, check online guides. Interestingly enough, the patent also covers other use cases, such as in racing games where control would give to another player or an AI model on difficult tracks before returning to the player. Asha is she comes from AI.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Does this encourage you to stay Xbox?
Well, 'cause I've always told you, Rhett, I'm probably going to get this next console, Xbox console, and then that'll probably be it for me. With everything you keep saying, it's less and less likely.
I don't see why they wouldn't bring this also to PC.
Oh, they will.
Well, I don't see it as an attractive. I mean,
No,
there
it's
have been
not attractive
complaints
at all.
for years and years when it comes to From Software and the games they come out with that are just too difficult or too hard. Or the point of the game is difficulty. That's the point of Soulsborne games. And when people complain, well, it's too difficult and it makes it restrictive and that sort of thing, Soulsborne was refreshing in a generation where things were becoming like cinematic experiences and the playing field essentially leveled out. And you were more there for your fun movie experience rather than for a difficult challenge. And Souls games gave you challenge. And if video games are art, then what essentially it did was the point of the art is the difficulty, is the learning curve, is the throwing yourself against the wall until you penetrate and go through. And if we're going to create an AI helper that eliminates difficulty when part of the point of games is to some degree a difficulty, not all of them. Games are so varied now. There's story games with Telltale games, there are puzzle games, but to a degree, there's a difficulty for most video games. What, we're just going to eliminate that because it's like, well, yeah, I beat the Elden Ring boss or whatever, and it's like, did you really? Did you really? Was it difficult for you?
Did you let your AI helper do it for you?
Well, it looks like great minds think alike because our comment is Souls-like and roguelike gamers might not care for AI help too much. Precisely, because the point is it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. So now we're just going to eliminate that. Like Ross said, is this the game journalist helper where that guy got stuck in the Cuphead tutorial because he couldn't figure out how to double jump or whatever it was?
Jump then dash, and he just could not do it.
This complaint has been something leveled at movies too, but the common denominator issue where you're aiming for general audience and you kind of dilute the value of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, Souls games are too restrictive. We talked about that issue earlier where Souls games are too restrictive to people maybe with disabilities and that sort of thing. That's really unfortunate. It's the point. It's supposed to be hard. Not everybody can do it. They just can't. Not everybody's meant to play the hard games. And if you feel like the difficulty pushes you out of experiencing the story and whatnot, well, it does. It pushes you out. The accomplishment is the point.
Yes.
It's not satisfying. That's why there was a lot of complaints against Elden Ring, because it was probably one of the easiest of the Soulsborne, especially when you could play it with other people. Then suddenly the bosses get a bit busted because one can take the boss's attention and then the other person can hit him, sort of thing. I mean, okay.
The thing is that I see that as a game mechanic as opposed to you're eliminating the difficulty. Just because you're getting help to get through it,
Jason, bosses are not capable of handling more than one person.
True.
They get confused. This is not a game mechanic. The boss becomes like assy when you get suddenly they're not as difficult. Now, some bosses still remain some sort of difficulty, but beating it as one person as opposed to two is a gulf of difficult. And a lot of people actually talk about how summoning is not really beating Elden Ring. I'm not that restrictive, but bosses actually sometimes get busted. But then again, Souls has a history of being broken when it comes to bosses that are just unfair on purpose.
Mm.
AI is going to solve Xbox problems. You feel something, Silver?
I was just thinking about how we made our way through Elden Ring by doing that, just 2-person busting.
Well, but we wanted to have fun, like play Elden Ring together.
Yeah, I know, but it was hilarious. They, for some reason, could not stand up to patriotic music. It was great.
We may or may not have reduced who's singing patriotic music when fighting bosses and it got difficult. It might have been late night silliness. I can't explain it.
I don't know. All I know is once the music started, we won.
Damn right.
It was great.
Now, you might be sitting here going, well, PlayStation doesn't have these problems. PlayStation's doing fine. Well, I'm going to bring up some information that might make you rethink what's going on in PlayStation. Shocking amount of information. So PlayStation's the big seller this year. This, what'd you call it? Season?
Yeah, this generation. Well, it's the strong second place compared to the horribly dead third.
Would you be surprised to know that game sales only account for 23% of the revenue that PlayStation brings in?
Oh.
That is a bit surprising.
I don't think this is that different on Xbox either.
Oh, I would be
Probably
surprised
not.
if it was. Maybe even worse.
The vast majority of the sales that they get come from service, microtransactions, subscription services, and hardware sales. And that might make you go, well, hardware sales, what do you mean? Does that mean that PlayStation console owners are not really buying games? The average PlayStation owner buys one game a year.
Mm.
And a lot of consoles don't become profitable after so many games have sold.
Right.
So,
I mean, do you remember back in the day when consoles were coming out? I mean, it literally they had it priced where it's like one game, and now we're in the black. It's not a lot in the black, but we're in the black.
The Nintendo Switch was the only one where it took one game before it became profitable.
Yeah.
Most consoles, it's like 3 or 4.
Boy.
That's why the Switch was such a great console, because it was affordable practically out the gate. They started, earning money. Because believe it or not, if we paid full price for how much a lot of that hardware is worth, it'd probably be a lot more.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, and that's always been the thing with console. Well, not all consoles, but most of them that I can think of, they're lost leaders. They're meant to get you in the door and then buy software that the licensing fee then pays Microsoft, Sony, whoever.
And when the games suck, and they're not bringing people in the door,
uh-oh.
And you might go, well, what are they playing? They're either not playing that much, or in reality, according to data I found, they're playing like 4 or 5 games. It's like Fortnite,
just over and over.
Call of Duty, or whatever multiplayer that's out, NBA Live, FIFA. Those are pretty much the games.
Right. They buy their yearly sports game and then go back to like Fortnite or Apex or something.
And then most of the revenue is subscription service and microtransactions.
Jesus.
Which explains a lot of their decision making.
Because when everybody...
if that's where they're getting their money from, why wouldn't they lean into those?
Well, when everybody talks about how the PlayStation 5 is the big winner of this console generation, it's like, well, they're looking at console sales. But if you look at their game sales, they're not really as big a banger as you would make them out to be. They're not selling games. People aren't buying games. So PlayStation isn't really killing the Xbox on game sales. People are buying the hardware because that's where everybody's playing Fortnite and they want to play with their friends. but they're not really
Yeah.
spending huge money on the console and buying elaborate libraries. And if they are buying libraries, I would guarantee most of that time as the game is on sale, which means you're not getting as much money for the software as you used to. And if you get a lot of game sales, this generation is actually down compared to the amount of consoles that exist and the games that are being sold. This is lower than last gen.
That
Yeah,
surprised
and
me.
I think we mention this 2-3 weeks ago, where Sony just now, or maybe you're going to bring it up. Sorry if I'm getting ahead of
It
you.
is in the news. I'll bring it up right now just so we can bring it
Okay.
into the overall relevance. But believe it or not, for most of PlayStation, it's only until recently about half of all PlayStation gamers were still on the PS4, haven't adopted the
Right.
PS5 yet.
That
And
was,
it's only
what,
recently when the PS5
weeks
had
ago?
actually overtaken the PS4, where
Mm.
more active players are now on PS5 than PS4. And this thing's been out for 5 years?
Yeah, it's in the last
At least
half of
that
its
long.
life.
And there are now more PS5 players than PS4? Why are people still on PS4? Because there's still good games on PS4. I could still play Fortnite on PS4. Maybe the PS5 is too expensive, and there's not enough first-party justification to move over.
Yep.
And if I can play my live service games on the previous generation, why would I fork out money to upgrade to the new generation?
Yeah, and I mean, even things like, which is another Sony product. I mean, hey, Rhett, you have a PlayStation 5.
I do. I have PlayStation 5 Pro.
Let's say you want to play Final Fantasy 14. Can you?
It's the problem is that it's like a beta because
Yeah.
the Final Fantasy 14 is still a PS4 game, so they
Right.
haven't fully made a PS5 version yet.
Oops, and we're how far into the PS5? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like over and over again, this is the story.
We have a comment. I believe it will be similar for Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. You might be.
Wait.
I actually would bet at the moment there are far more Switch 1 owners than Switch 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I bet the conversion rate's not that big yet.
And I would bet most of the people that play stuff on Switch are probably just, well, have my mobile Fortnite console.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And so at this point, it's like, do we really need a PC console hybrid? What Xbox could do is make it affordable console that leans into the multiplayer community. Be the Xbox Live console that it always used to be. Make it super accessible and easy to use, and make it the console for those Hyper 5 games, and then make it super available for everything else to attract all the other players. Because if only about 23%, and I'm being generous because 20% are digital sales, 3% are physical. And it was only about 23% of their sales or games. They sell, let's look at the number again. Let's see, hardware sales are 24%. They sell more consoles than they do games, at least percentage-wise as far as their revenue.
That's
So is this a healthy generation? If you are attached to the single player experience or new games and stuff. I mean, if you're looking cynically at revenue, why don't you just sit on, well, our PlayStation console is going to be the Fortnite box, your FIFA box or whatever.
come
Yeah.
get your Madden machine.
I mean, the thing is that if the Switch is the only console so far that has made sense to buy because of affordability, and not just affordability, but profitability for the company, where one game pays for the Switch for Nintendo. And so any more purchases that you make is just gravy for them. Then that to me says there's a huge opportunity here to exploit. And that's like you said, make it a console that's affordable and really lean in to the experience and the exclusives.
Why do you think the live service stuff is so emphasized? PlayStation Plus, Game Pass, Nintendo Online.
Well, obviously that's their priority because that's where the money's coming from for them.
The biggest driver of gaming revenue for PlayStation in 2024 were add-on content. Most people only buy maybe one, maybe leaning into two. I've seen numbers where it's like 1.5.
Okay.
They kids who come home from school, they play Fortnite. They don't play a huge library of other stuff.
Yeah.
Or FIFA.
Well, they
or
usually have
whatever.
less expendable income.
Yeah, they can't just buy whatever. They got to steal mom's credit card to get Robux or whatever, or Fortnite dollars.
Yeah, it's funny money. Mom's not going to notice.
She never looks at her credit card bill anyway.
She'll get a notification.
Well,
Yeah,
now
whatever.
she'll get your none of. She doesn't pay attention. She never looks at the bill anyway. We're subscribed to Netflix twice.
She's blitzed on box wine. She ain't paying attention to nothing.
Single moms, am I right? Well, everybody, want more interesting news to come out of PlayStation?
Absolutely.
PlayStation is going to de-emphasize its releases to PC.
Oh.
You might go, what do you mean? Yeah, they're going to start pulling back on their exclusive releases to PC or PC ports. And they polled PlayStation 5 fans, and over 70% of them agreed with them, which, to be fair, they're PlayStation fans, so they don't want to see their games ported to PC.
Yeah, no.
And you might go, well, why is PlayStation deciding that they're not going to release a lot of their first-party exclusives to Steam? Well, the speculation is they see what's happening to Xbox, and they're going, we need to preserve the PlayStation brand so it survives. So you got to come to us for our first-party games. Yep. You want to play the latest God of War? It's over here. Like, they will not be releasing Ghost of Yotei on PC, though they did with Tsushima.
I love the idea that Sony saw like Microsoft or the Xbox brand more specifically, like just floundering in quicksand, like up at their chest level, and just went, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to do that.
Let's just pull away from devaluing all of our first-party games.
Hey, Red.
Yeah.
Just thought of something.
Yeah.
Well, Xbox is saying that the Project Helix is going to be very premium, very high end.
That's what they say.
And they don't really have any exclusives. Well, doesn't that mean, like, if you think inversely, well, that means the Sony is going to be the less expensive option of the big consoles, right? The big powerful ones.
Uh-huh.
And they will keep their exclusives.
They might be the one to beat them.
Uh-oh. They read your mind, Rhett.
I'm seeing the future here.
And it's PlayStation.
Oh.
We got our comment. Xbox only gave PlayStation and Nintendo 10 years. Yeah. Well, do you know what the internet is now speculating recently on why PlayStation is moving away from PC ports?
Why?
Because of delayed releases. That's what the internet seems to think now.
Oh.
It's not because it's more profitable for us to do this. It couldn't be that.
No. So apparently, according to the numbers, if the game releases simultaneously on PC and PlayStation, about 44% of the purchases end up coming from PC. But if it's delayed for PC for a while, the game ends up being about 13% of those buy it on PC rather than on PlayStation. And they think
Oh.
that this is why they're pulling away from PC because of the timed exclusive problem. I would argue that because of the timed exclusive, people get to see if the game is any good and then decide not to purchase it on PC.
Yeah, if they
Point
if they
there.
had a plan for Yote to go to PC, I have a feeling it wouldn't sell as good.
Yeah.
What's that, Jason?
It does seem that this is a two-pronged problem, or maybe that it's not quite the visual I want to go for, but there are two things here. One is that if they keep their exclusives, that funnels more people towards buying PlayStations, which makes everything more profitable for them. And at the same time, there's no reasonable um, there's no reason that I can see why Sony would do this for the fans. You know what I mean? It's like we're going to release this on PlayStation exclusively for a while, and we'll release it on PC later, so you guys can tell whether or not you even want to buy it on PC. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, we're getting a next gen Xbox console that's trying to do everything at the same time and nothing very good. PlayStation is withdrawing from PC ports. Nintendo's just doing its own thing, picking his nose in the corner. And Steam,
selling way more.
And selling way more. And Steam, in an opportunity to capture the living room and be competitive with consoles, decides to price it at a PC price.
Yeah. Everyone's making really good choices, you know?
Well, guess what, Roz? One bit of news, still not.
Oh.
New hardware from PlayStation. That's right. What's this new hardware? It's a controller built specifically for PC. It's like a PC-ready controller.
Oh.
And you might go, oh, that's neat. It comes at a whopping $74.99.
Yikes.
Ugh.
Why is this different? It has a specific USB port that apparently adds $10 to the price of this controller.
Wow. Marvelous. Good job, Sony. You did it.
Not that you couldn't already adapt it to your PC before. This is more plug and play friendly.
Yeah, God.
$75 anyway.
Why is the gaming industry in a bad way? Oh, I don't know. You know,
I
just
don't know.
a few things here and there, I guess. Certainly that isn't indicative.
Silver, thoughts of the future, or is your mind addled with science?
There's so much science. My gosh, the equations. See them.
I see them. I can see them out in those trees.
In the trees? How you said?
You're going through Vietnam withdrawals.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Silver,
yeah.
get my references, dang it.
I'm sorry. I didn't get
Become
your Vietnam
older
flashback.
and less feti.
No.
Yeah. Fetus.